This is a tutorial on how to download and use the brochure template in OM in Apple Pages. So after you purchase it, you will receive two things. So this is going to be the original purchase confirmation that you've received immediately after you made your purchase, so you can download it here. You'll also receive a purchase receipt in your email where you can download it here. And please note that it is 3 allowed attempts, so please place it in a place where you can find it. All right, you see it just jumped into downloads right there, so it's going to head, and so it's going to just go ahead and download that for me. So again, this is your email purchase receipt that you receive. You're just going to click on the zip, and it's going to take you right to it. And now it is bouncing, and it is saying that it's ready. So I'm just going to take the folder that I just downloaded from the downloads folder, and I'm just going to put it on my desktop, just somewhere where I can find it. And then from here, what we're using, so the file does come in InDesign, Pages, and Publisher. Publisher is for PC, Pages is what we're going to be using. So I'm just going to take that and drag it out here into the desktop so that I have it separate. And so you'll be able to see your Pages files. So we're going to use the listing brochure. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to install the fonts, actually. So I'm going to open up the fonts, and then we're just going to double click on each one of these. We're just going to hit install font. Same here. I'm just double clicking on Open Sans. And I'm hitting install font. And I'm double clicking on Roboto and hitting install font. All right, so all of our fonts are installed. I'm going to go back here. And now I can open up the listing pages. All right, so when you open it up, if you have installed the fonts, it won't give you an error. If you did not install the fonts, if you didn't do that clicking through error, then it'll give you a little error, but you don't necessarily need the fonts. You can just skip it. Okay, so here is what it looks like. You can see there's multiple pages here: property, aerial map, street map, etc., etc. So the first thing I want to do is I want to delete this, and I want to add in my own. I'm going to add in my own logo. So I'm just going to open up my graphics here. These are what I'm going to use for the tutorial. But you'll add in your own logo. You'll just take it and move it to where you're comfortable with it. So I'm just going to kind of put it in here. Try to keep it in the grid there. That's just so that it doesn't get cut off in any professional printing. Here you can redo it. So like for instance, Santan building, I'm going to make it office, building for sale, and then I'll make it Gilbert Easy. So one of the things I want to do also is I just want to change some of these things because I want it to match my logo. So one of the things I'm going to do here is I'm going to hit fill. I can change it. Let's say, and then I'm going to change it here too, and here. And here is also where I can change some of the information here. So I'm just going to hit the text, and I can even change all of this stuff if you want to, but I'm just going to go in here and just change this. Oh yeah, if you want to make it a very specific, so for instance, I didn't want just the red. I wanted this red in my logo. So there, I just saved it into my color scheme, and this is what I'm going to do. So now I can redo everything into wait a minute. All right. want this red. Close. Okay. Thing, this red. And I'm just going to make it bold so it matches everything. Okay, you can also go in here and change out all of the basic information, retail, office, medical, etc., etc. Here I'm just going to change out the picture. So I'm going to use this. So I'm going to delete this old one. I'm going to take my new one. I'm going to put it basically where I want it. And kind of see how it's squishing the other text. I'm going to show you how to fix that in just a second. So I'm going to move it down a little bit. And now I'm going to just hit the Arrange button here. I'm going to hit None. And then I'm just going to hit Back until it's at the back. Another thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to crop it. Edit. And now I'm just going to crop it so it's below the logo, and the logo doesn't look like, you know, like a big square. All right, so I added. And if I do want to change this, for instance, I'm just going to kind of move it down so I get a little bit more building on a little bit less sidewalk. You just double click on the image and get that done. So here's how you do that. And then we're going to do the other one too. You'll change out the content, etc., etc. And oops. Come on, Bill. There you go. Dark red. And then one of the nice things you can do once you're finally finished with the footer, you don't have to sit here and do it every single time. I'm just copying the footer. And then for each one of these things, I'm just going to delete it out. And then I'm just going to paste directly in there. And it will automatically go in where it's supposed to be. So you can go through here for each one of the pages and just delete the old footer, add in the new one, and then from there you won't have to do it again and again and again for each thing that you do. And then same here, you're just going to change it out. And change out this color. Oops. This one. All right. So once you get kind of the colors in and the footer, you can move on to bigger things. So here I have a little area here for additional picture. So I'm just going to come in here. I'm going to take it and drag it. And then we're going to do the same thing again. I'm just going to size it for the page. And then we're going to arrange it. I'm just going to send it to the back. And then I'm going to go to Image, hit Mask. This is how we do the cropping. And I'm just going to take cropping here. Oops. No, not image size. I want the crop. Here we go. And just going to move it up so it's not on the footer anymore. And again, if you wanted to adjust this, you just double click on it and then you can kind of take it and move it around. So if you want a little bit more of the office, you could do that. And it will fit nicely inside that little box. And say I have additional property photos, but they don't need to fit into these boxes per se. So I'm just going to delete them. And then I'm just going to come in here and I'm just going to put like a couple of property photos in. And so I'm just going to resize them a little bit. There. And just center them so they don't have to be exact. I mean, you don't need 6 photos. I mean, sometimes if you get like 1 or 2 on a property, like like that's fine. And that's the same thing with these. Just put in as many as you can. Now here's the biggest question I always get, and it's how do you do the maps? So I'm going to show you on a Mac how you can do the maps, and two different ways. One of them, I'm just going to use the maps here. And so you just type in the address. Here, I just saved it, so I don't have to save it again. Here we go. And so here's how you do an aerial map. And if you want that little dumb pin to go away, you can just hit the X here, and then you do a screenshot. So you can do a screenshot by holding the Shift, the Apple, and the number 4. And that's going to give you a little, you'll see it here. I'll put it against the white here. You can see this little screen thingy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click, and I'm going to drag to where I want my image here. So. All right, and now you see that that has made like a screenshot right here. That's my aerial. I'm just gonna pop on back 2 pages here, and I'm gonna put that directly in here. And then it's the same kind of thing. I'm just adding it into this little square. So I'm just gonna put it in here. And if you don't like the looks of this, you can do the exact same thing with like Google Earth or Bing or whatever it is that you really want to use. I'm just using the Apple Maps because it's just right there. And then here I have some of the subject points here. So for instance, I probably use this one. This one is also really good too. Like if this like for instance was a gas station, you could just move this in over here and move this over here. So you can say, you know, here's the Walgreens, you know, here's the Macy's. And then other than that, though, I'm just going to delete the subject that I don't need. I'm just going to show my one office building. It's about right there. And then so all the rest of these can get deleted. But what you can really do, though, is you don't have to delete them. You can just take them and drag them off. And I'll show you how to do that here in just a second, just so you have them in case you need them later. But for the most part, you can, like, I'm a perfectionist. I need them deleted. Otherwise, I'm not happy. All right, so we have the arrow map there. And I can do the same thing with so with this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to switch it from satellite to map. And I can just do the same thing where I'm just holding down the Shift command or the Apple key and the 4, and then that gets me my little crosshairs here. And then I'm just going to click, I'm going to drag so I can make a little box of the map that I want. And there. Now it has, now it's made me a PNG file. Just going to drag it back over to my folder, and then I'm going to pop it right directly in here. I'm going to take this little guy and I'm going to move it around so that it fits in my box. Voila. And then I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to copy this subject and I'm going to paste it right here. There. Now I have a street map and an aerial map. And then from here, I'm going to show you how to make additional pages too. So, so for instance, you have a floor plan, site plan, demographic, anything like that, and you need additional pages. All you're going to do is choose this page right here. We're just going to hit Insert Page after it. Okay, so we're going to go back to a little bit. I'm going to copy this. Copy. And I'm going to paste. So you'll do that for as many pages as you want to. So, you know, insert page, you can do, you know, 100,000 pages if you really wanted to. All you're just going to do is go in here and change the title. So if this one was going to be your floor plan, you just take it out and just put the floor plan. Same thing with this one. If this is going to be your site map, you just change the title to whatever it is it's going to be. Rent roll, anything like that, just go ahead and change it out. So, And some helpful tips here is sometimes rent rolls in Excel spreadsheets can be very, very complicated. I suggest instead of sitting here and doing like an actual chart directly in here or a table, instead of doing that, just take a like save the spreadsheet as like a JPEG or a PDF and then just import it directly in here. So it has a nice clean crisp quality, but then you don't have to sit here and add in like a brand new table like every single time you have a rent roll. So that is it. So I'm going to save this. Listing pages. And I can duplicate it too. So I can, so the next time I'm going to make one, so my next retail or something like that, I'm just going to hit duplicate, and then I can make as many of these as I want to. Pages, copy. I'm just going to delete the copy, I don't need it. But, and then when you're ready to export, you can export as a PDF. I like to use best, but I mean you can use good if it's too many. If it's too big to email or something, then feel free to lower the quality of it because there really doesn't need to be this amazing quality in every single one of them. And there you go, got yourself a PDF. And again, save as, copy paste the files as many times as you need to. So this one and then this one, copy paste it as many times as you need to make an infinite amount of brochures. So that's it. Those are the basics of working it. Please let me know if you